Okay, guys. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the call for service detail report. Basically, this just goes over the steps in this process, starting with the 5:50 p.m. 3 men standing outside recording on tripod. They won't leave and won't talk to caller. So basically, we'll just run through this real fast. 5:50 and 50 seconds. Recording class through window. 5:51 and 41 seconds. White male, gray beard, blue jeans, shorts, gray shirt, heavier, male with Joker mask, Hawaiian shirt, gray cargo pants, and then we got black Willy Wonka shirt, brown gray shorts and hat. So that's the descriptions of the three of us. And then at 5:53 and 59 seconds, we've got the alarm company called about it too. And I will put that audio in now.
Communications.
Hi, Jesse. This is Vivian on a recorded line. I'm calling to report a commercial alarm.
Okay, can you hold on for me one moment?
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, where's the alarm? What address?
It's for 910 Church Street.
What's the name of the business?
Pure Bar.
What does the alarm cover?
They did do a manual medical alarm from the panel, but they are requesting PD. There's 3 men outside with cameras and tripods videotaping a yoga class, and they will not, excuse me, they won't leave.
Okay, hold on. So, it looks like we got a call from them as well personally. So we actually already have officers on the way there.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So,
and what was your operator?
Number 9.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, and now we're going to talk about the next input, which is 5:57 p.m. and 24 seconds. Another caller states one of the males, heavy set, in gray shirt, states he has a piece on his right hip, unsure if it's real or fake. And I'll put that audio in right now.
Evanston Police.
And I just got off the bus, taking the 213 and walking down Church Street. There's about 3 guys on Church by the Metro. They've got these cameras like in some tripods. They're like filming all the businesses. It's kind of weird because it's like you got calls.
So we're
and one of them has a piece too on his right hip. He's the big guy in the gray shirt. He's loaded, you know. So I mean, this is America, but like it's pretty crazy. Sorry that you guys have to deal with that. So
no,
be
fine.
safe.
I'll update the ticket.
Well, it's not. To be honest, it's not okay with me. I wish we weren't all armed, but thanks.
Okay, there you go, guys. That fella is definitely a coward bootlicker that's afraid of guns, with the comment he made. So, after that, we've got the 6 p.m. and 9 seconds southbound Church in Benson is the next entry. And then 6:08 p.m. exactly is when the officer transported me to the police department. And then the 6:20 and 47 seconds says CIT phone, and then it's blacked out with an NFI at the end of it. I'm unsure what that means. That's the end of page 1. And now we're going to go over to page 2, which is an absolute joke. At the top, it lists the assisting units. it lists the incident number and saying that the type is disorderly conduct. But then if you look down here at the unit numbers and the radio numbers, they don't show the badge numbers, they show the personnel numbers, and then they have blacked out the names of the officers, trying to make it as hard as possible to identify them. So we're going to fix that in a later FOIA. Absolutely, I'm going to get all their names and badge numbers, and we'll see what happens after that. Alright, and now we're going to move on to the case report summary. So this first page, it basically just says the date and time, the incident type disorderly, and then it says offenses man with gun, and then it says the suspect. I got a John Doe down for a suspect because at the time this happened, they never did get my name. And, yeah, that's basically all it says on this first page. Not really much there. Now on page 2, we have a little bit more information. It starts with the arrest number, and then you got the case number, the arrest type. It says summonsed cited, but I was never summoned or cited. And it shows the address, 910 Church, and Pure Bar, who reported the original incident, which they thought was disorderly. Now, I want you to look at specifically the arresting officer. It says ID number 1897, Zain Jaweed. That is not the arresting officer. Between Reza and Jaweed, they were the two officers that pulled their guns on me. And Reza is the one that arrested me, not Jaweed. So I don't know what kind of bullshit they're trying to pull here, but they're lying on official documents. That's kind of an interesting thing right there, for sure. And again, it lists me as a John Doe because I refuse to give my name. Boy, I wish I only weighed 280 to 300. Thank you for that one, guys. and then I wish I was only 35 to 45. Thanks for that, too. Anyways. Then we've got the resident status unknown. A lot of this is left blank because they just did not have a way to fill it in. But yeah, you can see arresting officer. So they did arrest me. But then after a few minutes at the station, they're telling me it was a detention, not an arrest. And then what? 40 minutes later, 30 minutes later, whatever, they came out and said, well, because the caller refused. I wish they would have tried to charge me, because I would have won in court, whether it be in their kangaroo courts or federal court. I would have won, because what we were doing was 100% constitutionally protected activity. All right, so we're going to end that page, and then we'll move on to this next page. All right, now here is where we get into the nitty-gritty here on page 3. Now, remember who actually arrested me. And this is all false reporting on an official document right here, because it all lists Jaweed as the arresting officer. All right, so at the top of the page, we've got the Evanston Police Department, the agency ID, the statute violation, disorderly conduct, submit offense, yes. So it looks like they're trying, as of 9/10, to submit charges, and we'll see if that actually happens. But anyways, so this was entered by Jaweed on 8/12, originally, the narrative here. It says on 8/12 at 1800 hours, John Doe was taken into custody for a disorderly conduct investigation. At 820 Church Street, John Doe was handcuffed, checked for fit, and double locked. I was not double locked at first, as you saw through Reza's body camera footage, that he didn't double lock it and then he cinched it back down tighter again. So that was, abuse of power, excessive force right there. So let's see, double locked, then transported to the Evanston Police Department station for further investigation. Upon completion of the investigation, John Doe was released without charges. See Field General Report for details. Where is that? They didn't give me that. I'm going to have to get that. Anyways. So in summary. Oh, I already read that part. Jesus Christ. On 8/12 at approximately 1750, Officer Jaweed and Officer Reza responded to disorderly conduct, later reclassified to man with a gun, call at 910 Church Street. Dispatch gave the following information. 3 white males were standing outside recording on a tripod. None of us had tripods. Into their business through the window. The following descriptions were provided. Gray shirt, beard, blue jean shorts, and heavier set. Joker mask, Hawaiian shirt, and green cargo shorts. Black Willy Wonka shirt, brown gray shorts, and a hat. Now, actually, I never noticed that what's in this window was wearing the Joker mask. So when they asked me about that at the station, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, as we arrived on scene, the call was upgraded to man with a gun. After a second call came in from a citizen stating the heavy-set male wearing gray shirt has a piece on his right hip and is unsure if it's real or fake. Upon arriving, we observed the described individuals walking east on Church under the CTA viaduct. We attempted to make contact with them by yelling out to them, but they ignored us and continued to walk away. Officer Reza and I gave additional loud verbal commands to stop, but they continued to walk away. All right, and now we'll move to the next page where it continues. When Officer Reza and I caught up to the male, Officer Reza observed the black hand grip of a handgun in a holster on the male's right hip. We ordered the male to stop, and he refused. Okay, let's check the camera footage from their own body cams, where we know we're going to hear their words. Did either one of them order me to stop and me refuse? Grabbing my arm is not the same as ordering me to stop. Let's watch the video.
Hey guys. What's going on, guys? We're getting calls about you guys recording inside the studio. Hey, let's talk. Don't fucking touch me. Anyone, come here. Put your arms behind your back. Hands off me. Put your arms behind your back. You got a gun right there.
Pepper spray, dumbass.
Right, it looks like a fucking gun.
It's
I can't tell.
Spray.
Put your arm.
Wow, guys. Don't touch my camera.
Go ahead.
So there you have it, folks. After grabbing me twice, then they pull their guns. Then they order me to put my hands behind my back. And at no time did they tell me to stop. Why do they think it's okay to lie repeatedly in their police reports? It's absurd and disgusting. Liar, you never ordered me to stop. Officer Rizza attempted to grab the male, but the male pulled away. Because you never said stop, you just grabbed me. Now I lost my spot. Oh, there it is. From Officer Reza and continued to walk east. When we caught up to the male again, we were clearly able to see the male was openly carrying what appeared to be a handgun, which is illegal in the state of Illinois under statute 720 ILCS 5-24. Okay, let's pull that up. So the law that they're quoting here, 720 ILCS 5-24, is all about the manufacture, delivery, sale, and possession of large capacity ammunition feeding devices. What in the hell are they talking about? The only thing that I did was carry something that looks similar to a firearm. I was not manufacturing, I was not delivering, selling, or in possession of a large capacity ammunition feeding device. I mean, come on. You guys have no clue what you're doing out there. Learn your goddamn job and learn the law. Don't quote laws that have nothing to do with the situation. That's just pure ignorance. So disgusting. I do believe the law that the officer was trying to say I violated was 430 ILCS 66-1. And that is the law regarding concealed carry. And if you read that law, it's kind of funny how it says that unless handcuffed carried on or about a person completely or mostly, okay, mostly concealed. So basically, their concealed carry law is a bunch of BS. And as long as you get your concealed carry permit, you can carry your gun however the heck you want as long as it's in a holster. Because, think about it. He couldn't tell what I was carrying. Why? Because it was mostly concealed by that holster. And nowhere in this law does it say anything about the holster has to be concealed. Only the firearm. So all you Illinois people out there that have concealed weapons permits, feel free to exercise your Second Amendment as you see fit. Because whoever wrote the law either did it intentionally because they thought it was BS, or they by mistake did it. Okay, now back to the case report. The statute states a person committing the offense of unlawful possession of weapons when he knowingly carries or possesses person upon any public street. What the hell does that mean? Knowingly carries or possesses person upon any public street? The guy can't even write a frickin' police report. Anyways, alley or other public lands within the corporation limits of a city, village, or incorporated town, except when an invitee thereon or therein for the purpose of the display of such weapon or the lawful commerce in weapons, or except when on his land or in his or her own abode, legal dwelling, or fixed place of business, or on the land or in the legal dwelling of another person as an invitee with the person's permission, any pistol, revolver, stun gun, or taser, or other firearm. Well, that's funny. That doesn't look like a firearm to me. Huh. Interesting. Okay, let's continue. So, Officer Reza and I then drew our handguns and ordered him to put his arms behind his back. The male refused. I never refused anything. And Officer Reza then grabbed the male's right hand and ordered the male to place his hands behind his back. Officer Reza and I gained control of the subject and handcuffed him. Once the male was secure, Officer Reza removed the handgun from the holster and discovered the item in the holster was a pepper spray container in the shape of a handgun. The orange pepper spray sticker was on the side barrel of the replica handgun, completely concealed by the holster. You hear that? Completely concealed by the holster, and not visible until removed from the holster.
Nobody committed a damn crime.
It goes on then to say we began conducting a disorderly conduct investigation under statute ILCS 5-26/1. And the only part of that law, as seen on the screen, is the very first part. A1. A person commits disorderly conduct when he or she knowingly does any act in such unreasonable manner as to alarm or disturb another and to provoke a breach of the peace. So, how is exercising my First Amendment right on a traditional public forum where you have the most freedom, i.e. a public sidewalk, violating that statute when what I was doing is constitutionally protected under the First Amendment? They need to understand how the laws work, and we need to keep pushing this until they understand and they stop falsely arresting someone. Under this law, the way they've described it without any better explanation, you could fart too loud or burp too loud in public, and if it disturbs someone enough and they call 911 and cry about it, you could be arrested. And that is bullshit. Okay, back to the report. While conducting our investigation, the male complained the handcuffs were too tight. A second set of handcuffs were used. The handcuffs were also checked for a proper fit. Now, if you watch that video, he had to jam those fingers in to get them in there. They were actually red when he stuffed them up under there because the cuffs were so tight. And when they did loosen the cuffs, you could see that he struggled immensely to get it to unlatch because there was so much force pulling back on the hammer that he couldn't twist the key. So, yeah. So the subject refused to give his name and was patted down for further weapons, which they patted me down before they did anything else. As soon as they put the cuffs on, before they adjusted them.
Dude, his right wrist is killing me, dude.
He was then placed in a squad and had my knee slammed in the door. The male's two companions were on scene yelling and causing a disturbance. In an effort to avoid further escalation, the male was transported to the station. No, it wasn't to avoid further escalation. It's because you thought you were going to teach me a lesson by giving me that unlawful kidnapping ride to the police station when you had no actual crime. That is the problem. And then, as you can see in the next paragraph, it starts out, Officer Jones spoke with first callers, and it's blacked out and blacked out, who related the following information, and that's all blacked out. We don't get to see that. But I'll see it when I file my 1983 lawsuit, because they have to give it to me unredacted for that. Officer Reza and I then spoke with blacked out and blacked out and asked if they would sign a complaint. So they're soliciting a complaint for disorderly conduct, and they advised blank. We then spoke with the second caller via department telephone and related the following information. All blacked
So when
out.
that's in the holster, you can't see any of the
Next
red.
paragraph. Due to a lack of witness cooperation and applicable state and local laws, the subject was released from the station without being charged. The replica handgun is not a replica handgun. It is a pepper spray device, not a replica of anything.
So, you were brought
Camera and phone were returned to the male. Upon his release, the subject is described as male, white, long beard,
we were unable to
bald, tall, heavy set, blue jean shorts and gray shirt, NFI, whatever that's supposed to mean.
Okay, so at this point, we are going to be releasing you without charges.
Okay.
Okay, but the reason we brought you in is because you had what appeared to be a handgun even to our police officers. Okay, and they're trained individuals. So it was reasonable to believe that you were causing alarm to the public and to this individual caller that called in saying that you had a gun. Okay?
I disagree, but okay.
He believed there would be a mass shooting in downtown Evanston.
Right.
What?
That's what he
Yes.
said. He believed there could be a mass shooting in downtown Evanston.
I mean, it was in the holster, and I was holding my camera with the hand that would grab it. If
Yeah, but you gotta understand, people don't think through things this far, right?
that's the problem, they don't think.
Right, but when you're doing things to cause alarm in public.
But
That-
we're
that's-
not doing
that's
things
what-
to cause alarm.
Okay.
We're doing it for educational purposes. It's not to cause alarm.
Okay.
We're hoping that people will come out and casually talk to us,
Right.
and then we can explain it to them.
But people generally don't want to casually talk to someone that they believe has a firearm exposed and is walking around, right?
And he said that initially, at first when he saw you guys in front of the Pure bar, he saw you somewhere near that. He said he wanted to approach you, but when he saw the handgun, he was afraid. He didn't want to. That's what he told us. And then that's when later on, when he saw you continue walking, that's when he called the police.
So it was the cause for alarm, okay? The other stuff, we know that's your right, okay?
Okay.
All right, sir?
So I should wear a coat so it's concealed? Is that basically
That would be
what you're trying to
fine,
say?
as long as you aren't scaring the public with it, right?
I mean, not trying to scare the public. Just
But you
trying to protect myself.
understand how it could, right?
I
Someone
don't
walking around
really
with...
understand
Oh,
that. I mean,
all right. All right, do you mind, can we get your name?
I
I didn't break the law, so I'd rather not.
That's fine.
You can write me down as tater salad.
Super. All right, sir.
Is pepper spray still in the back of your car?
Did they put it back there?
I believe,
And my camera.
Here, we'll go out.
Camera equipment.
this should all be in the back of the car.
Yep.
You know Ron White? No, oh gosh. You don't know Ron White, that's an abomination right there. Ron White,
Here, maybe just let him grab his own
Okay.
stuff.
I gotta educate myself.
There you go, sir.
All right.
got your little radio?
What's that? Yeah, the radio. I got it.
It looks like a gun.
I mean, if you look at it, you cannot see any of the orange from.
No.
That looks like a gun.
Yeah. It seems quite
I mean,
reasonable.
that is a gun.
But I mean, yeah, but it's not a firearm. I mean, it doesn't have a hammer. It doesn't have a
Why
clip.
don't you do like an orange handle?
They don't make it with a orange.
Paint it. Paint it. Paint it.
Huh?
Paint it.
Do us a
It'll
fa-
look like a toy.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
That's what you want it to
Yeah.
look like.
So you don't have this happen again.
I'll tell you, sir, if you walk around like that,
You're gonna get
someone
called
else is going
again.
to call on you again. And it's going to continue
Do
going.
us a favor and just cover it up or keep it in your pocket or something like that so we don't keep
We
getting
will get
calls.
more calls about that in this town. or in this state.
And then you can tell them about it. They describe me, I know there's nobody else like me walking around.
You know we get a million calls, and you know we got to respond to every single one.
Right.
We're gonna
What if
keep
you
getting
just had
calls.
a big sign and put it over you that it's not a or it's not
I'll
a
wear a
gun,
shirt that says this is not a firearm,
it's
pointing
a
this way.
taser, yeah.
There you go.
Or it's mace,
There you go.
whatever the fuck it is.
All right, have a good day.
All right, you too.